When you think of heroes in the U.S. Marine Corps, your mind might leap to the Medal of Honor recipients or the battlefield commanders etched into history books. But what about the quiet leaders? The ones who didn't seek the spotlight but shaped generations of Marines through grit, mentorship, and example. Master Gunnery Sergeant Brooks Gray was one of those leaders. His journey wasn't about headlines. It was about heart. It was about showing up every day, mentoring with patience, leading with dignity, and proving that real strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it speaks softly and leaves an unforgettable impact. This is the story of a Marine who turned adversity into purpose and built a legacy that still echoes through the Corps. Born in the early 1950s, Brooks Gray grew up during a time of racial tension and transformation in America. He was raised in the segregated South, where his parents taught him the values of resilience, integrity, and hard work. When Gray enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps in the early 1970s, the military was still healing from Vietnam and struggling with internal issues like racial integration and morale. The post-Vietnam era was a complex time for the Corps. It needed men who could rebuild trust and reestablish standards. Gray stepped into this challenge without hesitation. Gray's early years were marked by his attention to detail and calm demeanor. He was assigned to logistics and supply operations, roles that rarely make headlines but are crucial to any military campaign. During Operation Desert Storm in 1991, Gray's unit was responsible for supply chain coordination. His decisions ensured frontline units received critical materials under extreme conditions. While others made noise with firepower, Gray made sure the mission didn't stall. Colleagues recall his precision, his uncanny ability to predict logistical needs, and his deep empathy for young Marines under stress. One Marine once said, "Master Guns Gray didn't yell. He didn't need to. You listened because you respected him." His calm was our anchor in chaos. By the late 1990s, Gray had become a Master Gunnery Sergeant, one of the highest enlisted ranks in the Corps. But instead of pulling back, he leaned in. Gray became a mentor to countless Marines. He focused especially on young Black Marines who felt isolated or overlooked. His office door was always open. He emphasized professionalism, education, accountability. Gray didn't believe in shortcuts. He believed in preparation. In his own words, "If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready." He championed diversity, not as a buzzword, but as a responsibility. He worked to ensure that Marines of all backgrounds had a fair shot at advancement. Though Gray never sought attention, recognition found him. He received numerous commendations, including the Meritorious Service Medal, Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, with multiple stars. He was also a recipient of the Marine Corps Logistics Excellence Award, a rarely publicized but deeply respected honor. After retiring in the early 2000s, Gray continued to serve his community. He volunteered with JROTC programs, helped transitioning veterans find employment, and spoke at Marine Corps events about leadership and legacy. He always reminded the crowd, leadership isn't about volume, it's about values. Brooks Gray's legacy is more than his ribbons and ranks. He represents a model of leadership that is especially relevant today, one rooted in quiet strength, service over self, and the courage to uplift others. In a Marine Corps that continues to diversify and modernize, Gray's example shows that progress isn't always made by revolutionaries. Sometimes, it's forged by those who stay the course, demand excellence, and lead with heart. Gray showed the Corps that mentorship is a force multiplier, that calm can conquer crisis, and that legacy isn't about being remembered by the many, but by those you impacted most. If you served with a quiet leader like Brooks Gray, drop their name in the comments. Like and subscribe if you believe these stories deserve to be heard, because sometimes the quietest Marines leave the loudest legacy. Thanks for staying till the end. If you know someone that likes military stories, be sure to share it with them.